welcome to Reckless Fridays, everyone. I am your host, Marissa, and happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone had a spectacular weekend and also a very spectacular week because I haven't heard from you guys since Sunday. I had an amazing birthday week. I am now 22. Dystro came up and we had a great time. I'm still riding the high off of that, even though he just left yesterday on Saturday. But I will get into that in this episode. So nonetheless, thank you all for joining tonight's episode. I hope you enjoy. So this is episode 20, our 20th episode of Shoot the Shit. This is actually my first ever Shoot the Shit episode I'm doing by myself. As we had mentioned in May, when we discussed our future plans for the show in terms of solo recordings, every other month I will be on the Shoot the Shit. So this is my month for Shoot the Shit. So next month it'll be Dystro's episode. So we're going to go back and forth. So, I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know how long Dystro plans on doing his next month. But we shall see. So May overall was pretty crappy. It honestly was pretty stressful, pretty crappy. Had a lot of hiccups, had a lot of ups and downs. Just a lot of stupid things happened. A lot of decisions that were made on my part that probably shouldn't have happened. Long story short, sometimes it takes meeting up with someone to see, like, if your heart still feels for them. You know what I mean, in a sense. I recently met up with my ex towards the end of last month, going into the beginning of this month. It was way before my birthday. It was like a week or two before my birthday. I had him come over to hang out at my mom's, and it was like the first time I had hung out with him since 2021. So it had been about 3 years at this point, and I honestly am very surprised that, like, I just did not feel anything. Like, I thought I'd feel a spark come back to me, you know, seeing him and being around him and hanging out with him, but it just, nothing really happened. Is that normal? Like, does that happen with some people? Like, I actually genuinely want to know, like, do you guys ever have that moment where just you don't get that spark, you don't feel that spark come back after you've been apart from someone for so long? Like, it has been 3 years since I had broken up with him and since I had become single. So maybe time just did its thing, and over time it's just like my heart just doesn't feel anything. I just feel, in a sense, I feel numb, but in a sense it's like I really just like romantically I don't feel anything. And at this time I'm not looking for a relationship anyways, so maybe that also plays into that factor. I'm really just kind of done with relationships right now. Like, modern day and age people just do not know how to date. Like, social media has taken over, and it seems like it's causing a lot of problems in a lot of relationships from what I could see. And it's so shitty. It's like, why can't we go back to the 80s when things were so much simpler? Like, if you wanted to hang out with your date, or even ask them out on a date for that matter, you either had to call them from a house phone, if you even had one back in the day, or you had to write to them, like, actually handwritten, or literally go to their damn house, or meet up with them at school, or out in public. Like, you literally had to do it the harder way, the real way. Do it in person, not over the phone, or, like, over texting, I should say, over social media. Like, obviously house phones were a thing back in the day. It's just like, what happened to that? What happened to cute little dates and, like, all that stuff? It's like, that doesn't happen anymore. It honestly sucks. It's like, it really discourages me from even wanting to date, let alone even want to pursue anything. Like, I'm just so uninterested. It's like, I want to focus on what I've been doing, which is this, and focus on my studies for music and just, like, everything about music and collecting music. It's just like, I would just rather focus on that because that's what makes me happy. That and having a lot of friends. I have quite a few friends. 90% of them are guys, interestingly enough. And it's funny because I've always been that way. I've always had a lot of male friends throughout my life, even in school. And sometimes it's better off because, to me, they're less drama sometimes. Just having them as friends. Dating's a different situation. But, excuse me. But yeah, like having them as a friend, it's like, it's less drama to deal with. Like, they're more there for you than anything. And it's a blessing in disguise, honestly. But, enough of that. Overall, this whole week, this whole first week of June, this past weekend even, has been amazing. I have had a really, really good week and weekend for my birthday. I just turned 22 on Wednesday. Dystro flew up here Wednesday afternoon going into the evening. He didn't arrive till around 5:15 in the evening. He stayed out in Plattsburgh, which is about an hour east from my house, and then he drove over the next morning pretty early to Malone, to that hotel, which is a couple blocks up from me, and stayed there. And we ended up not going to Vermont. We ended up skipping that because he had a couple issues with Booking.com. By the way, do not recommend that website. If you want to book your hotel or motel for that matter, go through them directly. Call them, use their app, use their website, whatever they tell you to do. Do not go through a third-party application. It's awful. They fucked up. I really don't want to get into it. I'm sure Dystro will probably explain his side next month in Shoot the Shit. But long story short, Booking.com fucked up. Financially, we did not have the funds to go to Vermont. But we did still make it to Plattsburgh to go to the mall and go to the thrift store and stuff like that. And we went to go see our good friend Corey. If you guys remember him, he was on both of our Serial Killers episodes from 2022 and 2023. Longtime friend of mine. He's been my friend since the first grade. We still talk on a daily basis. And we went out to go see him in his new house, which is in Altona, about 39 minutes from here. Really, really nice place. It definitely needed the TLC that it got. I think they're doing a great job, him and Caleb. I think they're doing very, very well. If you guys are listening, hi. It was nice seeing you guys. Well, I didn't get to see Caleb, but I got to see Corey. It was nice to see you in your house. You guys are doing great. So we stopped there on our way to Plattsburgh. Then we hit the mall, walked around the mall for about an hour, hour and a half. I finally got to try Aunt Annie's pretzels, those pretzel bites. They were pepperoni pretzel bites, and my goodness, they were amazing. So we walked around the mall for about an hour, hour and a half. I bought a few things myself. I got this really nice Patrick shirt from Spencer's. If you guys don't know anything about me, I am a huge Patrick Star fan. I love Patrick so much. He is my favorite character. So I got another shirt of him, and it's tie-dye, which I thought was really cool. And I also bought myself another band t-shirt, and I ended up going with Fall Out Boy this time. I decided to purchase their So Much for Stardust shirt. Yes, and this is my second Fall Out Boy album t-shirt that I have. The other one I have is Mania, and honestly, it was starting to get really, really old. The artwork is starting to kind of deteriorate off of it just from having it for about 4 years now. So it was definitely time for a new one, time to retire the old one, bring in the new one, and what a better way to do it with So Much for Stardust, which just came out last year. So there was a section at the back of Spencer's. Yes, I know what you're thinking, the back of Spencer's, the unholy part of it. Well, there was a section before that section. It was like a whole bunch of shirts on these hangers in like a little circle rotation. It was buy one, get one for $1. You cannot pass up on that, because if you are buying a shirt off of the wall on the side of the store, you're buying it for full price, no matter how many you buy, unless you run into one of those deals where it's like buy 4, get 1 free or whatever, but even then you're still paying full price for certain shirts. So this was kind of a good deal, because I bought 2 shirts for the price of 1, practically. I paid $29, I think I paid $29 for the Patrick shirt, and then I got my So Much for Stardust shirt for $1. So it was definitely worth it. It was absolutely 100% worth it, and I've already gotten compliments with the Patrick shirt on, so that's a win-win. So after that, we were supposed to try Jersey Mike's down in Plattsburgh. However, we walked in there, the line was out to the door. There was no way I was waiting there that long just to get myself a sub. So I was like, you know what, why don't we just do Drex and Malone when we head back to town? He's like, okay, let's do that. Because, I mean, you can't go wrong with Drex if you live in upstate New York. It's like a staple up here. You have to go to Drex if you visit upstate New York. Freaking amazing. Especially the one in Malone. The one in Malone's really, really good. I've had some really shitty ones from different places, like the one in Aquasaucony. It's totally terrible. I will never go back there. The one in Malone is the one to go to. But, moving on, so we skipped Jersey Mike's and shot up to Overhaul. I think that's the name of the thrift store on Route 22 in Plattsburgh. We decided to head up there and take a look around for some more CDs, because I did go there in May with my mom. Didn't have enough time to look for all the CDs, but I did find a couple more good finds. I ended up scoring that Foo Fighters Greatest Hits album that I had spotted the last time. So I did get that, and I also got a Three Doors Down CD, and it's one of their better albums too. So now I have two Three Doors Down CDs. I actually really like that group. I really wish more people talked about that group. They're really, really good. Especially you dad rock fans out there. Like, that's like ultimate dad rock right there. It's like Stained, Three Doors Down, Daughtry, like, you know the drill. That's your dad rock for you right there. I also came across another CD I really wanted to get, but when I opened the case, the CD was in really bad shape. So I'm like, I better not get it. No scratch remover can erase those scratches. It was Warrant's I think it's Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinkin' Rich. I think that's the name of the album. I wanted to get it so bad because I absolutely love Warrant. I love that album. But the CD was in terrible condition. There was no way. Like, I don't even know why. I don't know how they could sell it like that. Like, you're supposed to sell stuff that's in decent shape. Like, good for a consumer. But that CD was just dusty and it had scratches. It's like, no, I can't do that. No scratch remover liquid will take that out. So from there, we decided to head back home to Malone. We hit Drex and got some subs. They were freaking amazing. And then we ended up heading back to my mom's for the evening. We were supposed to have a softball game that night, but it got canceled due to some heavy rain and thunderstorms and all that crap. So we ended up playing a couple new games. So I ended up getting this new SpongeBob game at Five Below. I actually forgot to mention that. And it's called What Do You Meme SpongeBob Edition. It's really funny, honestly. If you don't know what it is, I would definitely look it up on YouTube or even just Google it. It's fun. I got it at Five Below for $5. It's definitely worth the $5. I can tell you that. I'm really happy I got it. I had spotted it during the Christmas time when I went out there to shop for Christmas, but I never got it. But, well, here we are. Honestly, it's a fun game for families and for SpongeBob nerds like myself and Dystro for that matter. It's literally all SpongeBob references on the cards, and you get pictures from, like, you get scenes from the SpongeBob episodes, and you have to, like, pick a good caption, and if your caption turns out to be the funniest, you win that point. So it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity in retrospect, just family, fun, SpongeBob kind of thing. Speaking of Cards Against Humanity, we ended up playing Cards Against Humanity, and oh my goodness, we had a blast. We played Thursday night and Friday night. Friday night, I ended up going back up to Walmart in town, and I ended up buying another box of cards. I have 4 Cards Against Humanity boxes. I have blue, red, green, and now I have the absurd box. And my goodness, that box is super, super unhinged. It's crazy. I spotted an everything box too, and it had like a picture of an everything bagel on it. By the way, those are really, really good. I'm actually tempted to get that next. And then they had like a really like extreme adult version of it, I guess. They had a family version too, like a family edition one where it's more family friendly. They had a bigger box for $30. It was like a big black Cards Against Humanity box. I really don't know what that's all about. Maybe that's the original. I'm not sure. But I have been an avid Cards Against Humanity fan for the last 5 years. My first box was the blue box, and I ended up buying the red box shortly after. So I have about $80 worth of Cards Against Humanity cards, literally in my possession. 2 are at my mom's and 2 are here. So that's crazy. Honestly, I need more friends to play that game with. So if you want to play with me, please hit me up on socials. Like, dead serious. I need more people to play with. Just like pick like a random fucking Sunday evening, you just come over and play cards. Like, yes. So Friday came along, we went to my sister's softball game that night, and it got rained out, and we got soaked. It poured. It was thundering actually, and they ended up shutting the game down after the 3rd inning, like the start of the 3rd inning. So that happened. Played some more Cards Against Humanity that night, and then Saturday came, and my friend had to leave. I was a little sad about that. I ended up crying a couple times, but I'm glad he made it home safely, and I am very glad that he came up in the first place, because he didn't have to come up for my birthday. So Dystro, if you are listening to this episode, I thank you for literally one of the most memorable birthdays I have ever had. 22 will definitely be a number to remember, because it is my lucky number. I love that number for a lot of reasons. I just hope this year turns out good. So, with that being said, trying to think here. What else could I put on this episode? Oh, okay. Well, here's a good one. Although I do have a Music Madness episode at the end of the month, I will give you a sneak peek. So, recently, I don't know if you recall, I had mentioned we were going to be doing a so-called surprise pilgrimage. A little bit of a loophole, we shall say. So, what I meant by that is this pilgrimage I have thought about doing since spring. Since March or April. It's like, oh my god, we definitely need to do this. But I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him about it until literally the day we were going to do it. And about 3 weeks ago, we started this pilgrimage. We're on our third album this week. And it's Loverboy, honestly. Honestly, like, Loverboy has been in my life forever. It was one of my first concerts I got to attend when I was a little kid. So this group definitely means a lot to me, and I've always wanted to look into their stuff a little more and get into their stuff because I only know their hits at this point. So, what's nice about Loverboy is, even though they have their hits, you find some of their deep cuts, and their deep cuts are really, really freaking good. And what's nice is they worked with Bryan Adams. They worked with Bryan Adams back in the day, and also he's one of my favorite artists of all time. He is just absolutely legendary. Now, when I found out that they had worked with Bryan Adams, it's kind of like a full circle moment, if you think about it, because I grew up with Loverboy, and then in terms of Bryan Adams, I grew up with him in high school. He was my high school obsession, like sophomore year, going into junior year. Absolutely loved him. Still do to this day. I still love Loverboy. So it's kind of a full circle moment just finding out they actually worked together. Two Canadian groups, or two Canadian artists for that matter, working together to become literally like two of the biggest artists of all time in Canada, and even the States here. Us in the States, we love them groups. So we are 3 albums in now, as of tomorrow, Monday. So far, Get Lucky has got to be my favorite so far, honestly. Like, I really don't want to go too much into depth because I do want to do some more episodes about Loverboy in the future, but I'm telling you right now, I'm definitely going to be breaking down Get Lucky, like, very soon. That album was kick-ass. So far, I'm really enjoying this pilgrimage, honestly. It's a big step up from what we've been doing, like what we did with Angels and Airwaves. That pilgrimage kind of flopped, but this is definitely a step up so far, and I can't wait to see what else they have to offer. So, I do have a Music Madness episode at the end of the month, so I will be talking a little more in depth about what I've been listening to the last several months, because I haven't done a Music Madness episode in about a month or two. So, that's kind of the reason why I've been spreading them out, because I don't listen to music all the time anymore. Like, I've been trying to find time, but I've been so busy. Like, life has been chaotic lately. So, sometimes it's kind of hard to squeeze that in, but I'm definitely working on doing that a lot more this month. So, I will be talking about what I've been listening to lately in the last month or two at the end of the month for Music Madness. So, I think that's going to wrap up the episode for tonight. I know it's a little short, but I pretty much said everything I wanted to say in the most simplicity terms as I could. I hope you enjoyed. As I mentioned, Dystro will have next month's Shoot the Shit episode. Speaking of him, by the way, his next episode, he is doing something a little different. He's starting his own series called Throwback Thursday. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be wrestling related. Like, without a doubt, I'm assuming. It's kind of a surprise to me because I really don't know what he's going to be talking about. So, you will have to find out for yourself on Thursday when it comes out. So, you will not want to miss that. A new series is always good to the channel. I mean, we're always looking for something new to do here, something new to talk about. And I guess that's his little way of showing his creativity side, and I applaud him for that, honestly. That's why we're doing these solo episodes, because not only is our old freaking podcast recording software being a bitch, it just helps us, like, get that creativity flow out a little more, and lets you guys see different sides of us that maybe you haven't seen before. Like, I am a huge music nerd, and 90% of my content on here is going to be music related, while Dystro's is mainly wrestling based. But we may intertwine sometimes. We might switch things up a little bit, but who knows? You never know what can happen on this show. So I also have tonight's song of the night, and I figured let's go with an album that just turned 25 yesterday. Now, I have been talking about a lot of albums that are having anniversaries this year, especially turning 25. Just this past weekend on Saturday, the 8th, Def Leppard's Euphoria album from 1999 just turned 25. That album, I will literally defend it till the day I die. That album is heavily slept on for starters. Like, every time you talk to a Def Leppard fan, nobody talks about Euphoria. And it's sad because it's really good. It's really, really good for that time period in Def Leppard. It's really good. It has a really good sound to it. It just sounds like late 90s with a Def Leppard twist. And it's just, overall, it's one of my comfort albums, and I have mentioned that word a lot on this show, but I do have a set of albums that are my comfort albums that I tend to go to when I just need that comfort, when I need that warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And that's one of those albums. I really loved Euphoria to death. It's a shame that I can't find it. Like, I've been wanting to get it on CD for the longest time. It's so hard to find. I don't know why. Any Def Leppard fans out there who might be listening, if you can tell me why Euphoria is so hard to find on CD, please let me know, because I have been dying to look for it, and I can't find it. I've checked thrift stores. Amazon doesn't even have them. It's like, oh my god, what is going on? So I'm going to pick a song from Euphoria tonight, and I think I'm going to go with Day After Day. This song is the precursor to the closing track. In other words, it's the track before the closing track. Closing track was Kings of Oblivion. I believe we broke down this album last year, or this year. It might have been this year. Back in the winter, we broke this one down. So I'm going to go with Day After Day. There's no music video for this. There is audio, so if you guys would like to take a listen, go on ahead and click on that link at the top right-hand corner at the end of the episode. It'll take you to the audio video. Go ahead and listen. It's a very good song. A little mysterious, honestly, but it matches the late 90s vibe for Def Leppard at the time. So if you guys stuck around to the very end, I greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go on ahead, follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter, so please be sure to go on ahead and follow us there to keep up to date with the show in case something happens, can't upload, all that crap. So at this moment, Dystro is at 1.39k subscribers, so he is super close to 1,400 finally. If you guys are not familiar with his channel, he uploads gaming content as well as memes weekly. He does a lot of 2K stuff on there, I've noticed, and in addition to that, he does Skate 3, does GTA. I think we've done some Roblox videos in the past for Murder Mystery. I can't remember, there's been so many. But if you guys would like to check out his channel, I would greatly appreciate that if you do so. Go subscribe to him. He is super close to 1,400 subscribers. He's got some good stuff, so definitely should go check him out. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, Day After Day, by Def Leppard, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and Dystro will see you guys this Thursday. Peace!